Chapter 1. Alpha and Omega. In the midst of the world, the Creator said to Adam, I have placed thee, so thou couldst look around so much easier, and see all that is in it. I created thee as a being neither celestial nor earthly, neither mortal nor immortal alone, so that thou shouldst be thy own free moulder and overcomer. Thou canst degenerate to animal, and through thyself be reborn to godlike existence. Animals bring forth from the womb what they should have. The higher spirits, on the other hand, are from the beginning, or at least soon after, what they remain in all eternity. Thou alone hast power to develop and grow according to free will. In one word, thou hast the seeds of all-embracing life in thyself. Pico della Mirandola. Everyone wants to be a hero. Everyone wants to be the hero of the story, but only a few are willing to undergo the pain and tragedy it takes to mold one. A person accustomed to wielding power throughout their life may eventually undervalue its profound significance. At the same time, someone less privileged and weak recognizes the true worth of strength and nurtures a sense of compassion. An ideal can never be obtained. It can only be approached. However, ideals act as a compass for our ethics and set of beliefs. In the same way, destructive ideals can give glamour to character flaws. Having bad ideals will turn you into a flawed character, which will forge a bad destiny for you by default. In this chapter, I will discuss character traits of the ideal personality and character I made for myself, Dion, child of heaven and hell. This may seem narcissistic at first glance, but at a young age, I realized that while good ideals have good traits, they also have flaws that do not align with my values. I made an ideal that was as free from internal and external contradictions as possible, and did not force me to give up on my highest values of morality. However, you must accept that you might need to hurt people in the name of great things, or the outcome that yields the most good, especially for others. We create our set of statuses in life by creating ourselves and cultivating new skills. We thereby create our value, which brings a lot of benefits. Do not ask, what do other people admire? And follow along. Don't be a sheep because sheep always get slaughtered. Instead, carve your own path. If you want to become the 1% of the population, you must do what 99% of people aren't willing to do. Replace phone time with sleep, fast food with homemade food, toxic friends with mentors, TV with exercise, complaining with gratitude, overthinking with action, and blaming with responsibility. The characteristics of an ideal individual are challenging to obtain. That's why they are valued and cherished by others. So if you possess them, then by default, others will value you. This chapter will sound more like a list of maxims, tips, or advice. This chapter acts as a summary for further chapters. I will be going into more depth with these ideas and attaching supporting evidence in their respective chapters. Take this chapter as foreshadowing what this book will be about. If you understand and practice the concepts in this book, then you will become successful in many aspects of your life. It will help you master the art of living. Many of us are just working to die and fade away without purpose. But I believe everyone has a unique gift to give in their respective field of expertise. When successful, by default, you will have better friends, a better network, and be more mentally and physically healthy. Success pays in serotonin, which creates confidence that will make you competent and, with competency, yields leadership skills. However, being the leader is context-specific. Just because I'm a leader in my band doesn't mean I'm the leader at my workplace. A good leader must teach by example. and remain well put together in adversity. Losing control over your emotions shows immaturity. Aggression can make you look petty because it shows a lack of self-control, like a child. A man may be confident and competent at his construction job but can also be pussy-whipped at home by his wife. These contradictions may occur. It is your job not to let others walk over you. Assert yourself and command respect by earning it. How do you command respect? Speak and move at a deliberate pace. True strength lies in serving rather than commanding. Set aside your ego, avoid complaints, and regularly perform selfless acts. Devote yourself to a core value, like family or faith. Respond to disrespect with silence, asserting your strength through unwavering eye contact. A romantic relationship with an ideal man or woman is a transaction. If done right, it will pay in spades. If done wrong, you will lose your individuality and capital. You need to keep the ideal man or woman happy, or else they will find someone who can give them what you're not providing them. A person who knows their value will not tolerate petty shit. They will keep the partner happy. However, being charming, attractive, and spoiled with an excess of mating options can lead to flaws of character. Adverse effects include narcissism, arrogance, and pursuing empty pleasures. Once people treat you as an option, show them your options. Everyone wants your high-ranking position. You must always watch your back, be vigilant, open your eyes, and always pay attention. This is why being an alpha male is stressful. It will make your cortisol levels rise. You must keep the peace by providing security and being empathic towards your circle, whether at work, with family, or with friends. The group will keep you in a position of power if they love you. Everyone loves a humble, kind hero in position. The more popular you become, and the more status and respect you gain, the better your position is defended by the group. Bullies lose their position. You must not be a bully, but be gentle towards others out of the consciousness of your strength. Protect your circle of friends. If you need to fight, do it, but avoid war if you can. Act with logic, not your emotions. Do not be resentful of the success of others. Be generous, share food, and be good with kids. Good people will reciprocate, and those who reciprocate have the potential to be in your close circle. A person's true character is revealed in how they treat those who can offer them nothing. Run away from leeches, needy and infectious people with drama in their lives, or they will infect all aspects of your life with it. People will ignore you until they need you. Tell people you don't have money, and you'll see who really is your friend. You should always act when you're not being listened to or misunderstood. Call bullshit on holier-than-thou self-righteous pontificators, and expose someone's emotional manipulation and deception directly. Keep calm in conflict situations and around toxic people. You automatically have the upper position when you're collected and stress-free when aggravated. When offended by people who are unnecessarily rude and uptight, ask them, "Are you okay?" to make them realize how immature they are. Do not let them get away with their misbehavior. Always run away from people who are two-faced and disloyal. You may be their next victim. You know you have reached your high-ranking position when you are pleased with your life. You are focused on living, not on ruminating on a depressing past. Life is an adventure. You have to design your life routine to yield the best results for you. You need to order your life in a way that makes you enjoy every day without looking forward to your days off from work or a vacation. If your attitude is that you are looking forward to the free time you don't have, it means you are enslaved by your job. For example, fix this by learning a skill you enjoy so you love what you do, or find a tolerable and enjoyable career. In this manner, you enjoy every day you work. You won't see it as work, but as play. That was my attitude when working as a phlebotomist at a trauma hospital, as a playground where I would go play poking people for a living. Does nothing seem to change in your life, and everything you do seems a step closer to hell? Faulty tools will yield faulty results, and those faulty tools can be your attitude toward everything you do daily. It's common sense. By default, The things you do daily matter most in your life because of compound interest. Healthy habits will yield a positive life and pay in spades. The second half of a man's life is made up of nothing but the habits he has acquired during the first half. Fyodor Dostoevsky. Do you want to feel in control of your life? Then, you need to control your reality and behave accordingly to shape your ambitions and needs. Own up to your responsibilities and mistakes. If good comes to you, it is because you made it happen. But also, shit happens. Sometimes, you cannot control your externals. But you are in control of how you react to adversity. However, if it is your wrongdoing, accept the responsibility for your mistake, learn, and move on. Expect your success strategies to shatter, your framework of living to break, and nothing lasts forever. Recognize that you're in control of your reactions, emotions, and attitudes. You can always rebuild something better. Not all is lost as long as your strong character remains. Controlling your emotions shows maturity. This takes you incredibly far. Everyone is wearing different masks depending on the occasion. Reading the emotions of others and acting according to logic, understanding the power of feelings, and not letting them overpower you are all signs of a mature adult. Your goals and ambitions must be accomplished, not put away in a wishful thinking list. Strategize with your time, willpower, social networks, and resources. Focus on the task at hand. If you have many, then break them into a to-do list. Write a chapter per week sounds more doable than write a book in 1 year. Your language shapes your reality. Use this to your advantage. If you use pessimistic language, then you will see everything in a bad light, and vice versa. Be a person of your word. If you say you will do it, follow along through it. Others will take notice, and you will gain respect and social networks. Let your successful results speak for themselves. Take care of your close circle of friends. Share resources and your success with others. People are investments. If you share with them, they will probably share their resources with you when they become successful themselves if they are not already. However, do not let anyone take advantage of your generosity. Some people will take and never give anything in return. If you borrow, then give back, especially money. This shows gratitude for the big favor. People who borrow money and never pay it back are pitiful, especially when they have funds to pay it back. They must be desperate and starving for not returning what is not theirs. What a pity. Aim to win the high-risk, high-gain game. For example, for an artist, there is an extremely low probability that he will make money out of his art. He is met with ridicule for pursuing his dreams. And he risks not finding a partner because women want stability and status, not unpredictability when it comes to income. You must learn a high-income skill to survive. I'll be honest, there's a high probability that you will more than likely fail at commercial success. But a true artist doesn't care about the money, but about the transformation of his personality that he is forced to undergo. Money cannot buy character, personality, or virtue. Do not think that high risk or high reward has to be about money. Do not settle for mediocrity. You don't need other people's approval or recognition because living your life based on someone else's expectations is just another form of slavery. Do not be petty and rely on the validation of others. You will become a reflection of how others want you to be. If you're the real deal, people will want to be around you. They will come to you instead of you going to them. People will want to befriend you out of self-benefit. If they surround themselves with success, then they will be infected with it. People can spot greatness from miles away. Let them know they too can be great. Inspire instead of putting people down, and do not be arrogant. Always do acts of service to show gratitude towards your parents, friends, and mentors who made you who you are. Realistically, you don't become successful without the help of others. People will see your struggles and the obstacles you overcame to earn what you currently have. This advice is essential. Take care of the way you present yourself. What are the main things that describe you in a driver's license identification card? Height, weight, eye color, and hair color. These are the main things that people notice about you every single day. People automatically respect someone who knows how to care for themselves. The world will judge you harshly, especially the opposite sex. If you want others, especially people of high status, to respect and love you, then take yourself seriously. Lose weight if you're overweight or obese. Hit the gym hard and build a respectable physique. Groom yourself in a way that fits you, smell great, and dress to impress. Do this, and you will stand out. Eyes will shift to you when you walk into a room because you are judged like a book by its cover. We all have physical aspects that we can improve naturally, not surgically. Work on them. People will want to be you. Haters envy winners, not the losers. So take it as a compliment. They admire you and want your life. Set boundaries with people. You lose value when you're too accessible. Be private. Not everyone wants the best for your personal life. Let others believe whatever they want about you. You have nothing to prove to them. Losers always focus on the winner, and winners focus on winning. Be authentic. Do not follow trends, or you will become a mediocre copy of a copy. You will behave, speak, and look like the new trend or the contemporary douchebag. To prevent this, know yourself, create yourself, and be the best version of yourself. Don't take prisoners. If they bite you, bite back. Do not get angry but get evil instead. Make someone's psychological pain long-lasting so they know never to mess with you again, and play defensive, not offensive. No one messes with a guy who knows how to think, speak, and write. If they do, they will be shattered into pieces. As you focus on your vision and goals, your purpose becomes more evident, and your circle of family and friends will become smaller. Great minds have purposes. Others have wishes. Be aware that the higher you climb, the colder life will become. The higher your status, the more starving leeches you will attract. People will see that you have money and leech out of you. People will want to use you as a utility. Be prepared for people to attempt to pull you under. Showing your emotions and vulnerabilities to the wrong people is like bleeding next to sharks. Let's go on a bit of a tangent. It takes courage for a person to speak up about their feelings and to show vulnerability. A significant gender role for men is that they should not express their feelings, be reserved, and not show vulnerabilities. Tough men pretend to be the alpha of the group, but in reality, they are crybabies as soon as they are faced with true adversities or get drunk and begin to spill their true feelings. Working at a trauma hospital proved this with the I Wanna Be Cholo gang members. They were afraid of needles when tattoos covered them. They get shot and wounded, and they start crying more than the daughter who lost her father. What I saw were hypocrites. Male alphas are stereotyped as tough, leaders, cold, and aggressive, among other masculine traits. Research has shown that a chimpanzee male alpha actually provides more comfort to group members than a chimpanzee mother. My claim is that a real male alpha can transition between being an efficient group leader and giving comfort. A good leader knows how to follow, and he guides his followers to gold, not to misery. Per primatologist Franz de Waal, the alpha male or female is the individual or primate atop of the hierarchy. Characteristics include protecting the underdog, breaking up fights, and having a high level of empathy. In short, this is the list of characteristics and skills you need to genuinely learn, cultivate, and practice to be atop of the hierarchy. Courage, entertaining, athletic, funny, humble, intelligent, talkative, hardworking, disciplined, fair, stylish, self-composed, ethical, independent, generous, persuasive, clean, honest, empathic. Learn to say no. Social networking, consistency, self-confidence, good communication, time management, positive attitude. Overcoming the envy of others. Stop looking for happiness in the same places where you lost it. People settle for a comfortable level of mediocrity and despair they can tolerate, then dare call it happiness. Ideas and emotions are contagious, so we become and behave like the average of our peers. This means that if you're surrounded by anxious, depressed, and neurotic people who only make excuses not to adopt responsibility, then their fear of life will infect you. However, the opposite is true. If your friends are responsible, ambitious, well-educated, and virtuous, you will adopt their characteristics. Do you want your life to improve simply? Then stop hanging out with losers. It is easier said than done since many of us fear being alone and do not have the balls to say no to people, which means people prefer to be in bad company than to be alone. Actions speak louder than words. You can easily witness that it is easy to find losers to surround yourself with because they come in abundance. But finding people who work smart and hard and aspire for higher values and a better life is challenging. But if you can't find these powerful individuals who will bolster your higher aims, then at least you should cut off all your bad influences to prevent their downward pull to hell, even if it's your blood. Someone has to break the chain of family dysfunction, but not all are brave enough to do it. Mastering a skill that you can get money from will open new doors for you, which will increase your social network. You attract what you are, and if you adopt higher values, then people with the same values will notice you and will want to know you and surround themselves with you. The problem lies in people drowning in self-pity and not believing they possess the skills to be good at their chosen field. This is flawed reasoning. They lack the willpower to change their lives, so they blame their circumstances, parents, and past for why they went astray. Do your best to accept people for what they are, and stop trying to change them if they do not want to change in better ways. If they want advice and help, then help. But do not waste time with those who will do nothing with your advice. The best way to change someone is by example, not words alone. Avoid those who undermine your aspirations. Small-minded individuals often engage in such behavior. Surround yourself with greatness, as those who are truly great inspire you to believe in your own potential for greatness. In today's modern culture, we see how virtue signaling guilt trips others for someone of low value to feel a sense of self-worth. Psychotherapist Adam Lane Smith gives an example of the thought process of those who manifest this narcissistic trait. You're a sinner because you don't respect other people's identity that makes you a bad person. And by pointing it out, I am pointing out what a good person I am because I know the rules so well that I can enforce them on you. Scandal allows a person to feel moral emotions while not doing anything to earn it. Behavior like this is from a person who hates himself. If you know you're like this, then in all probability, you don't like yourself. You have attachment issues, identity issues, abandonment issues, addictions, mommy issues, and daddy issues, and are so unconfident and incompetent that makes you envy others because you wish you had what they have. Don't let people play victim with you or guilt trip you. It is designed to exploit your goodwill. Kindness becomes the rationale social justice warriors employ when seeking to assert control over others' thoughts and expressions. Never tolerate negative behavior from others, especially when they attempt to degrade you. The cynicism and criticism of critics are always rooted in insecurities. People may use sarcastic or humorous comments to make you feel inferior or less secure. Do not let them under your skin. Instead, ask and address their direct behavior calmly. Are you okay? Why are you acting in such a negative way? Are you insecure about something? Are you going through something personal? Do you need professional help? I don't appreciate your negative behavior. It's disrespectful and unprofessional. Do this with coworkers around a witness. It will make them back off since it's humiliating. Many people need to be humbled with humiliation. Pretend to be ignorant. Playing dumb to get away with behavior or things. Judge action, not intention. Don't get emotionally involved. Learn to let go of any type of relationship if it inflicts damage. Maintain composure. Respond with a smile, and redirect the focus onto that individual by asking questions. Don't take the bait and remove yourself from the situation. People will project their flaws onto you. These same insecure people will constantly gossip, marginalize, ridicule, and dismiss you to make you feel inferior and to make them feel superior. Criticizing others for things they do themselves is guilt-tripping. People who play victim enjoy passive-aggressive behaviors to remind you of something terrible you did to make them want to make up for it. Ignore it until it blows over. Say thank you and get on with your life. Respond with empathy, but trust your intuition. Be aware of the silent treatment. People want to be chased in the same way children do. It is immature behavior. People, especially narcissistic women, ignore messages, calls, or questions to make you feel uncertain and to make you start doubting yourself, thus making you chase after them. Don't play their game. Know your worth. Skills everyone should master in life. Understand that childhood trauma may be connected to high achievement and formation of personality. Trauma of any sort molds your personality. You had no control over it, but how you react to it is what matters. For the most part, people with no past trauma are very superficial and lack personality. Some of them may be superficial, empty conformists who follow trends, a copy of a copy. Others are just genuinely kind people whose tragedy never befell them, fuzzy, harmless bunnies. Experiencing psychological trauma will give you much potential to create value out of yourself through the attainment of high achievement. People's value stems from how useful they can be to themselves and others. However, it is not just about acquiring value, but about mastering the art of living to improve mental and physical health through the mastery of skills. Physical strength or an athletic body makes you a more capable person. When you're physically strong, your mind strengthens by default since it takes mental effort and perseverance to reach physical goals. This ties in with emotional resilience, controlling your emotions. It is not about being emotionless, but about controlling your emotions instead of letting them possess you. Not being able to manage your emotions gets you shot in the streets, fired from work, and beaten up. It increases your probability of becoming a criminal. Not knowing how to manage your emotions will ruin your whole life. If emotions control you, you have already lost. Emotions make us human, but facts don't care about your emotions. Especially in a capitalist society, you're valued by your skills, efficiency, and how much responsibility you can bear. Irrational actions will wreak havoc in your life if emotions rule you. You have mastery over your emotions and take joy in simply existing and creating above all else. Someone strong, conditioned, and disciplined who cares about the body they have will have more energy. They will be more capable of conquering the obstacles in life, passion, stamina, and especially opportunities. Physical strength improves you physically and your relationships, since you will infect others with your positive attributes. Do you want to hang out with winners that have their life together, or with losers that don't get anywhere in life? Another skill you need to have is excellent assertive communication. Don't be a jerk, patronizing, or condescending when communicating your honest thoughts. Focus on not having collateral damage when you get your way, or else you will experience short-term results because, in the long term, those around you will tear you down from your status position. Do not be passive, and also known as the people pleaser. People will walk all over you and take advantage of you when you're too agreeable. However, in contrast with assertive communicators, they know what they want, are willing to negotiate fairly, and share thoughts and ideas freely without caring about people's opinions in an inoffensive manner. Use rational selfishness by appealing to the interest of the other. That way, you both win. An assertive communicator has the self-control not to throw temper tantrums or meltdowns when they don't get their way. It's an effective and efficient way to communicate. This ties into good leadership. A leader has a vision and can guide people to a place they could not have imagined going alone. The third skill to have in your personal toolbox is self-defense. Train yourself to be a weapon. If your life or the lives of the people you love were in peril, would you be able to defend them? Train mind and body. We don't rise to the level of our expectations. We fall to the level of our training. Arca locus. You need to be capable of violence if the circumstances warrant it. Once your fight or flight response kicks in, adrenaline will change you, but it may not be enough to save you or those you love. You may not have logic at your disposal if you don't train your mind to withstand highly stressful situations. This next skill, for the large majority of people, is challenging to master because it depends on how our families brought us up and on a false illusion of abundance. Master financial acumen. You need to understand how money works, how to make it, keep it, invest it, how it controls your life, and how to budget it and protect it. Learn how to prevent tax avoidance legally. I am not a financial advisor, but you must learn from a professional. My life works financially because my mother taught me to delay my gratification and how to perceive money and investments. However, I am still learning much more as I write this book since it is a domain I want to master, not just be good at. Your financial life can easily tie into the next skill to master: effective networking. Surround yourself with good people. You're not a self-made man. There was always someone previously that affected your life in the way you live it today. Your parents, siblings, teachers, mentors, friends, etc., and your behaviors or patterns have been influenced by external stimuli, thus affecting your internals and, thus, your choices. No opportunity will present itself without a connection to someone else. If you help enough people get what they want, you will inevitably get what you want. As the famous YouTuber Mr. Beast said, imagine a world where it's just you working solo, and you work 12 hours every day for like a year. And you're just grinding. You make a mistake. You learn from it. You make a mistake. You learn from it. And you do that for a year. And imagine a different world where you have 4 friends who are equally grinding in something similar. Friend number 1 makes a mistake on Friday. He teaches the other 4 people. Friend number 2 makes a mistake the next week, teaches everyone, and then like you're all learning from each other's mistakes. You're all constantly studying 24/7 and downloading each other. After a year, you're 2 years ahead of the guy who was just solo. Learn to mediate between what the individual wants and the resources for the person to have it. This creates social networking. If your friends win, then you win. It's a reciprocal relationship. Effective networking is finding people you can help, finding how you can help, and then giving them the opportunity. Great connections are catalysts to your success. You may even meet your spouse this way. It's funny how the world works. If you plan to get married, you and your spouse must be on the same page regarding finances. Heal emotionally before having children so your children don't have to heal from having you as a parent. Moving on to the skill of physical presence. How you present yourself is how the world and yourself will perceive you. Our perception is our reality. Do you dress like a loser? Then you will become a loser. Do you dress professionally and seriously? Then others will take you seriously. How you portray yourself to others is very important. You cannot not communicate since most of our communication is nonverbal. You must earn a physique and dress accordingly to communicate how powerful and capable you are to avoid confrontation or war. This way, you win the war without fighting. Sorry to burst your bubble, but the most attractive men and women get the best opportunities and better job positions and make the most money simply because of their physical presence and skills. You can play the victim game and say, well, that is not fair. Well, facts and reality don't care about your feelings. Instead of making the impossible move, attempting to get blood from stone or change reality, accept reality and change yourself. You attract what you are. You will attract opportunities if you become attractive in the best way possible. People take the following skill for granted: continued education. Never stop learning. A good teacher is always a good student. You may say, well, I'm not a teacher. You think that because you don't get paid for it, you can be a teacher to your family, friends, co-workers, and even strangers with your actions. If you are not evolving or growing, you are not flourishing and living a meaningful life. The problem is when you don't change, when you stagnate, you're slowly becoming a mediocre version of yourself. Make yourself useful in terms of handiness. People love reliability, Learn how to repair things around the house and your car instead of paying for a service. Finally, the last skill every person should learn to master is spiritual growth. You do not need to call it God. It may be the universe, energy, etc. You must have a high authority compass that grounds reality and moves you in the right direction. If you are conscious, you know when you're making a mistake. Follow your intuition. You know when you deviate from the moral compass, and you know the consequences. You may never master a skill, but pursuing mastery alone is enough to fill your heart with meaning and a worthwhile, successful investment. Find pride in your earned skills and abilities. Remember that you will be hard to understand, so you may often be lonely. The age of 15 to 30 is the golden era of your life. You make friends and lose the bad ones. Feel free to make mistakes so you can correct them, but don't confuse that with self-destructive behaviors because that is stupid and irrational. You will fall, you will fail, but also you will learn about reality. You fall in love, but don't try to cure it with obsession and lust because you will get hurt. You will lose, then find yourself and eventually become stronger. The best years of your life are not determined by age, but it sure does play a factor. It's really what you make out of your time. Everyone is running their own race at their own pace. You should understand the difference between enjoying it and running it. Remember that suffering is an essential component of greatness. Accept suffering as a necessary component of good things. The essence of greatness is the perception that virtue is enough. Ralph Waldo Emerson. However, never